All right, guys, let's connect today, October 20th, 2024. Coming in for the live stream. I started a minute early, wait for people to join and all that good stuff. But I'm going to talk about From Season 3, DARYL DIXON Season 2. Spoiler warning, obviously, for both of those shows. And we'll talk about general stuff for the first 15 minutes, and then we'll get into some spoilers. So if you don't want to know this information, I'm going to talk about all of DARYL DIXON Season 2. From episodes 1 through 6. So if you don't want to know any of that information, stop watching now. And you can be here for the first 15 minutes, and then we'll talk about some general stuff. But guys, I missed you last Sunday because of the Hurricane Milton. It's been a crazy month of a crazy year of a crazy couple years. But hopefully you're safe and sound. I live in Tampa Bay in Pinellas County, and that's where the storm was coming. My wife and I evacuated, and then we came back, and it was okay, and the house was okay. But, it's just getting back to that reality of things takes some time. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do a live stream for next Sunday. I'm going to try to do one after that, but then the following Sunday, I won't be able to do that too as well. So it's definitely something that I want to be able to talk to you guys. I just don't know when I can commit to it with a lot of stuff going on, end of the year stuff. But J Bibbs, can you update me on the spoilers that has officially aired on TV so far? I haven't had any time to watch a single episode yet. Can you catch me up? So I definitely will, J Bibbs, but I want to keep it spoiler free for the first 15 minutes, like 14 more minutes, and then we'll talk about From Season 3 and DARYL DIXON Season 2. And I'm going to talk about all of DARYL DIXON Season 2, The Book of Carol, and a little bit of the From stuff so far, the episodes that aired. But hopefully you're safe and sound and doing well. My wife and I got a flu shot and a COVID shot yesterday, and so we're feeling it, not feeling very well right now after getting double shots. We went there Friday, and we had an appointment, and we go check in, and we sit down, and then they come over, and they're like, well, we can't do the COVID shots because we don't have the COVID stuff the COVID vaccine that came in. It's got to be thawed out, so we can't do it today. And I was like, what? We have an appointment. Like, you should know what's there or let us know that it's got to be rescheduled. It just was stupid, so we had to reschedule it to yesterday, and so that's why I'm feeling bad today. We'd like to try to get it Friday because it takes about like a day and a half to really so hopefully by tonight I'll be feeling better too. So but it's just definitely something that, being in the public domain of being a physical therapist, and we treat so many different patients, it's just smart to get any and every shot that you feel comfortable with getting. And I'm not here to tell you to get a COVID shot or a flu shot or whatever, but I definitely will, because I want to make sure I'm protected for being around patients and everything too. And we see a lot of elderly patients, and I don't want to pick something up and then give it to a patient. You can still get COVID and still get the flu, but it'd be far less with vaccines. That's the whole point of it on there as well. But other than that, we're safe and sound. We're doing well. Hopefully you are too, if you had to deal with the hurricane stuff. The cold weather was nice for some places. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you're watching football, if you're watching college football, NFL, hockey, whatever you like, any other shows, From Season 3, it started off good, and as of late, they're messing with us. They're like toying with us, and I'll get into that in about 12 minutes or so. But it's like, come on, man, we want answers. And a lot of people on Facebook are pissed off because they want answers. And I understand that. I'm with it too. I want answers as well. But we have to trust the process. We have to do that. And we had some answers, I guess, somewhat, especially where the recent episode ended. But, it's one of those things where, I was talking about, Lost with a couple people, and some people who made Lost make From. And Lost is a show that's been out years ago. Like, I don't even know when it came out, how long ago it was. But it's definitely something that I'm not going to watch Lost because it's kind of been spoiled what happens because it's been so long. But I don't want that to be the answer in this show either. Like, I don't want it to be what happens that, it's kind of a scapegoat way if everyone's dead. And you're like, that's crap. Like, I don't want that. As for DARYL DIXON, I've seen all the episodes so far. Well, I guess so far all of season 2, and it's okay. I mean, are you guys enjoying it? Do you like it? Are you enjoying the dynamic with? Because like I don't know what's actually aired on television because I don't know what people are actually seeing because it's a lot of stuff going on. But some people I talk to on Instagram and kind of feel where it is, and I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it's okay. The series is okay. The show is filler. You know, I don't think they're ever going to connect with major moments in the Walking Dead universe. It kind of feels like, yeah, 6 episodes, let's cram it all in. Stuff has to work out. They're going to be in tough, precarious situations, but they'll probably make it out, right? Because Carol and Daryl can't die in France away from everybody. Like, that would be pretty cheesy, right? I saw a little sneak peek clip thing of teaser of Dead City, and they're really highlighting Negan being Negan again, which we already knew from the previous trailer, and we already knew that Maggie is gonna feel the need to help him for some reason, because I think the word too is that Dead City is gonna be a time jump. Maggie and the Bricks are gonna be connected with the New Babylon Marshals, and then Armstrong and Maggie are gonna work together. And I don't know if Maggie's gonna try to help Armstrong and get to Negan before. I don't know. It's just gonna be a whole big thing. But I'm definitely gonna watch it. I believe it says spring 2025, so I don't know if that's March or April or when it's going to be. I don't know when. There's no definite answer unless the definite date, unless I missed it. If you guys know, post it in the chat as well. But yeah, Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. Well, how do you do? I'm okay, John. How about you? How you feeling? How we doing? It's just been a lot. You know, I'm not going to try to make it somber, but my wife had a friend that she knew from college and was a bridesmaid in our wedding, and she passed away last night. And it's really sad, you know, because she should not have passed away. She's got a family and she's got a life and everything, and it's just sad. And it makes my wife and I think about the future, and life is precious and everything can happen in a blink of an eye, and you don't want to wait to do things. You want to do things now when you can. And it just feels like when you always lose somebody, whether it's a friend or a loved one or a family member or whoever, whether they're young or old, it doesn't really matter. It's like makes you think about, wow, you know, 42, 42 years old. So should be very much alive. And it's sad. It's a sad thing. And it just makes me feel like, I don't know why it happens. I don't know why. I don't have those answers, and maybe I'm not supposed to, and that's okay. But I do feel like we have to enjoy today because tomorrow is not promised. But plan for tomorrow too. Like, have vacations and trips and see your friends and tell your family members. I'm a proponent of that. Tell your aunt, tell your uncle, tell your brother, tell your sister, tell your spouse, tell your daughter, son, neighbor, whoever, that you love them, or you miss them, or you care about them, or you were thinking of them, And I put that in my book series time and time again because it's meaningful to me, like it's in the story and it's maybe there too, but it rings true that, you may not have tomorrow. You may not have 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever it is. So tell the people today before it's too late, and it's just a shame. It's just, I don't know why stuff happens like that. I mean, that's the mystery of life, but it's just a shame. So I just want to share that with you guys. And it's been a crazy month, with hurricanes and, losing friends and losing, people. It's just, I'm always like excited to get to the next month. And I feel like October, November, and December are the best times of the month. Times of the year, the best months of the year. The last 3 months, the last quarter of the year is fall, holidays. If you like Halloween, if you like Thanksgiving, you like Christmas, you like Festivus, you like Kwanzaa, whatever it is, whatever you celebrate. And yeah, I'm sorry, Lindsay. I'm sorry to hear that. Melanoma is clearly a problem. And so get checked. get checked, for skin cancer, and get checked pretty regularly, especially if it's in your bloodline, especially if it's in your family, if it's in your parents, if it's in your grandparents. And definitely stay out of the sun, sunscreen, SPF, UPF shirts. Take care of yourself. And even then, you could still happen, right? Like people who don't smoke ever in their life get lung cancer somehow, some way, but it is what it is. And eventually something's going to, be the responsible thing for us. But, I'm sorry to hear that, Lindsay, and really anybody who's lost anybody, because it's sad. But other than that, I'm not trying to be somber. That's what just happened. I woke up this morning and my wife told me about that happening, and it happened last night. And it's just sad, and it makes you think about it too. And it's just crazy when someone's like 20, 30, 40 years old and they're gone. I've had that happen throughout my 20s and my 30s and now 40s, it's just, and it's never going to stop, it's just going to, what's next? So treat people, nice if you can, but live it up, have a good time, plan that vacation, plan that trip, or simply just call somebody. But, that's just my 2 cents. And it's just been a lot of stuff piling up this year too, with hurricanes and now the loss of a friend and just a lot going on. It's just crazy. But we're here for people. We're a good support system. The grieving process and everything too. And, just got to keep on keeping on. Do the best you can. Yeah. The guy from Wilson says Liam Payne, the guy from One Direction, passed away at 30 years old. It's just, you never know. So that's why I always recommend, and I tell you guys time and time again, start now. Write that book series. Start that YouTube channel. Start that, side hustle, whatever it is. Read some books, get educated, go online, take a course, take a thing, continue education, do whatever it is. Do it now. Don't wait till tomorrow, because we might not have tomorrow. Enjoy it, be a part of it, express it, and just, I don't know. But other than that, guys, there's a movie on Amazon. I haven't watched it yet, but I want to watch it. It's called Brothers, I believe. It's with Peter Dinklage and Josh Brolin. And it looks hilarious. Like, I like both of those guys, and it looks funny. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm definitely gonna watch that at some point. Watching some different things on Netflix. What are you guys watching? What are you recommending? What are you guys anything you're watching right now? Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. Why does it seem like every year gets worse and worse? Well, I don't know if it is getting worse or worse. I always believe of the phrase, perception is reality. If you feel like it's getting worse and worse, then it is, because you feel that way. And I'm not here to say your feelings are wrong or make you feel bad or judge you. But you have to see, I always think of life as a roller coaster, up and down, right? A sinusoidal wave, up and down. It's not straight. It's not linear. It's not exactly this, and it's not down. So it's not this. It's kind of ride the good, ride the bad, ride the good, ride the bad. And we have to appreciate the good and the bad. Not everything is great, and not everything is bad. Not every day is your birthday or a holiday, and not every day is the worst day of your life. There's some days that are just Tuesday or Wednesday, and they're boring, and that's okay. And some days are amazing, and some days are not. But you got to take the good with the bad and everything in between. So that's why you want to enjoy shows like From, DARYL Dixon, Dead City, other shows, other movies, other series. We're watching The Penguin. There's the first 4 episodes are out now. And it's pretty good. I think Colin Farrell is doing a good job. I feel like he should win some award for that, because you wouldn't even know that's him. But I recommend The Penguin. Even if you don't like Batman or not, you have to like kind of mafia stuff and whatever, because it's kind of like crime drama stuff with blackmail and mafia stuff and Gotham. But I recommend it. It's pretty cool, and Colin definitely does a good job. But all right, guys. So that's my 15 minutes of spoiler-free conversation. So I'm going to get into some spoilers. I don't want to spoil it for you, ruin it for you if you don't want to know. So I'm watching Tulsa King. It's okay. It's a little cheesy. It's a little obvious what happens, but it's still entertaining. From season 3, so the latest episode aired this morning, and people already posted how the episode ends, with Dale ending up in the pool wall structure. So they finally have a town hall meeting in the latest episode of From. And we're like, why have they not been having this more often? It took 3 seasons for this to happen. And Tabitha to go away, to come back, and they all yell at Tabitha what to do, and that she ruined this, and there too. And Victor's dad is walking around, and Victor doesn't want to do anything. Doesn't want to meet him, but eventually he does. That's a nice moment. I feel bad for Sarah every time, because she is just the whipping person, and everybody hates her. And I get it, because she killed people, but it's still like she hasn't done anything, and she was under their control, and she was kind of being manipulated by them. So it wasn't like her doing it, right? So it was just, like, I feel bad for her. The Elgin talks with Julie, and they have they smoke weed, and they relax, and they talk about this, and they find clothes and Polaroids, and they take time. They just have a good time with each other and take pictures of each other. And it's just like a nice little moment. Is it necessary in the episode? Not really. It's just filler. Boyd is trying to control the situation, but he can't. It starts with Randall being brought into the colony house, and they patch him up, and he lives, and we know he lives because there's a bunch of photos of him living. He's got bandages on his face. And Marisol, or whatever her name is, the nurse, she does what she can for him. And Randall blames Boyd, says, "You left me." And that's the whole point of leaving him alive. And the monsters just keep doing stuff to mess with Boyd. Right? They were messing with Sarah a little bit, but they keep messing with Boyd more than anything. And Boyd is definitely the main focal point of the series. And he's definitely the person that is going to have to survive and to do everything he can. But he's struggling. And the town wants to be able to get out. Tabitha got out, and everybody wants answers. So then Tabitha and Jade go to the tree, the bottle tree, and they start taking out numbers, or the pieces of paper that have numbers written on them from the bottles. And then Dale comes out of nowhere, and he's like, "Is this the tree? Okay, so you just go in here, and you go home? Okay." And Jade and Tabitha like, "Don't go in there. No, don't do it." And he goes in there. Dale goes in there, and then he ends up in the wall of the pool, and he dies, and everyone freaks out, and it's kind of a crazy thing. And Boyd's like, "Look, see, who's next? You want to go do it?" Okay, because everybody wants to be a leader, right? It's always the person that, if you're the manager or the principal or the coach or the head coach or whoever it is, you're always the person in charge who gets in trouble or gets yelled at, and you can't ever win, No, John, I haven't watched any anime yet, and I probably won't, to be honest. But Boyd and Ellis, and then Ellis finally talks with Fatima, and she explains that she is eating this rotten food. She doesn't say she drinks blood or eats blood, but she said that she's eating this rotten food. And it's just weird. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with that, too. There's so many things left unanswered for stuff to happen there. Victor's dad and Victor had their nice little moment. Sarah and Victor had their nice little moment. Victor stops. He was going to go with Sarah to go find Jasper, but they don't go. It kind of gets delayed. Everything keeps getting delayed. Not really a lot happens in this episode. It's not really the best episode, that's for sure. But it's okay. It's It's a little filler, but, it's what happens. It's around the halfway point, so, it's kind of getting to that. Tim says, Q&A, the interest I have with FROMland at this point, the creatures know everyone's name. Thoughts, Bry? So, yeah, I mean, it's weird that the creatures know everyone's name and they're messing with Boyd. Why don't they just kill everybody? Like, what's the point of this? To have people suffer? To torture them? To mess with them? Because if you die, then it's over. Like, you don't have to worry about anything anymore. But they always, like, make you suffer. They, like, punish you on there, too. And why is everyone being punished here? Like, Boyd was in the... Like if you follow the backstories of all these characters, you kind of see, like... It makes sense for... Boyd was in the military. So maybe he did some things that weren't great. Jim and Tabitha, I don't know if they were the best people or not. I don't know. It's Randall, clear. It just seems like not a great guy. Marisol or whatever her name is, she's like a drug addict, but not to say that's against her. But then why is Kenny there? Why is Sarah there? Like, what did they do? Why did Father Katari die? Why does it happen? What did Ellis do? What did Fatima do? Like, I don't know what's happening here. What did Donna do? What did these characters do? Jade could have been a terrible person in the, business front. Making bad deals and getting one over on people and just being unethical. So it's just like all these things could come back around again. Like, clearly these characters have a backstory for a purpose, and why are they there? Why are they there to suffer? I don't know. It's definitely something that makes you think, and it keeps us interested every week. And I'm definitely interested every week. But yeah, I think that's all that really happened in this episode. I mean, the police officer kind of thanked Boyd, and Boyd was really mean to her. The bus driver was really nice to Boyd after the fact when everybody was going against Boyd, and she was like, I have your back and I have this and blah, blah, blah. And they're trying to get answers, but I guess Boyd is over trying to capture one. And then what's the point of the talismans? Like, what's the point of all this? Like, why do they keep giving stuff to keep them around, to prolong them around? Like, is this one big game? Is this one big joke for, the playground? The sandbox? How is the phone working? How are you getting water? How do they have all these towels? How do they have all these clothes? Like, how do they have all this stuff? How do they do laundry? How do they clean stuff? I don't know. How do they have enough food now? What's going to happen after they removed the totem thing and it fell over? Like, is anything going to happen from that? And I hope they know what they're doing, and I would assume they are, but we just didn't get really answers this episode. So, all right, let's talk about Daryl, because I'm going to talk really about the entire season 2. So, Daryl season 2, The Book of Carol. It's okay. It's kind of like Carol and Daryl just being Carol and Daryl and trying to prolong the story. So Ash is the newcomer. Laurent is the guy the kid they're trying to save and protect. Isabel is, a good character. Unfortunately, she dies. Lo Sang, the Asian guy that runs the nest, he dies. Jeanette dies. All of her people, I guess, kind of die. Cadron lives. He actually helps Daryl. And so it's basically Daryl never took the boat out, so he's stuck there. And Daryl is trying to protect Laurent. Because Daryl, there's certain things that Daryl is known for, right? He's a lone wolf. He gets captured. He gets beat up, but he survives. He gets tortured, but he survives. He always has a soft spot for kids and helps them and protects them and does all that. If you have a love interest with Daryl, you're gonna die. Look at I forget her name from Pope's people, the Reapers. She died. Isabel dies. So you can't. Daryl's the kiss of death. But so the whole thing is like there's not really a good villain. So we find out that Leah, yeah, thank you, it wasn't Leah. Daryl is there to protect Laurent, to protect himself, right? Because like you want to be able to stand up for yourself and protect yourself from walkers, people, whatever on there too. Like that's what you're supposed to do as a parental figure, an older brother, a sibling, whatever on there too. Like you want to help them, protect them. And Daryl, you know, we love Daryl for that. Carol's all about finding Daryl. She meets up with Ash, who has a plane, who makes it to Greenland, then makes it to France. At the end, Ash, because the whole thing with Carol is that she lies to Ash that Sophia is there in France with her dad. And we know that's not true because of the farm in season 2, and Ed died and Sophia died. And they do the little callbacks and the connections and the dream sequences and the stuff with Sophia throughout the entire season with Carol. And it makes sense because it's familiar to us, but it kind of feels out of place a little bit. But, you know, they do a good job with it, as they always do. But Carol gets help from Ash because Ash lost a son, and then Carol gets the plane ride to Greenland. They meet these 2 crazy women. They kill both of them. They leave, they get back to the plane. They fly and land. Carol tells Ash to stay by the plane. Ash ends up building this protective thing where he kills people and walkers and everything. But he leaves to go get a hose or, you know, fuel or whatever for the plane. And he gets, you know, trapped. Daryl and Carol save him. They get back to the plane. But Carol leaves Ash by the plane, and she runs into Jeanette's people. She, by chance, you know, and yeah, Wilson says all the thing about the radio, and it turned out they're feeling. Yeah, so remember in season 1 when Carol was on the radio talking to Daryl, and she's like, returned. They returned. You know, and Daryl's like, who returned? Who returned? And it was like, oh, who are they talking about? Is it Rick? Is it Michonne? Is it this? Is it that? It's some BS stupid thing about, oh, it's the feeling at the Commonwealth or the general, whatever. So stupid. It was nothing. It was no person. It was a general feeling of people's mindset at the Commonwealth. And I'm like, stupid. That's a waste. That was, again, Walking Dead, build up, loves to do it. That their payoff is crap. You know, build it up, build it up, build it up, build it up. Come on, man. If there's a build up and you're building something for it, where's the payoff? You know, come on. So Carol kind of joins Madame Jeanette's people. Yeah, they definitely baited us. They definitely made us be like, oh, who is it? Who is it? And it's nobody. You know, which is annoying. Don't play with us like that. But so Daryl's trying to stay alive, and Isabel's on his side, and they fall in love, and they do this, and then, you know, Lo Sang's little person that's with him tries to kill Daryl, but you ain't gonna kill Daryl. Daryl gets taken prisoner by the Nest, and Carol tells Jeanette that she wants to kill Daryl. And of course, Jeanette buys it. Cadron is there being tortured. Carol ends up saving Cadron. They work together. The whole thing with Jeanette's idea is to make burners and like aggressive walkers just makes little to no sense. Like, she was basically a janitor at the Louvre. And her whole idea is to make these all-powerful walkers, burners, aggressive walkers. Like, just take over France and just take over France. Like, what are you doing? Why do you have to, like, control walkers and do whatever like that, too? Like, it makes no sense. Like just take over a major city and country in the world. And make them safe for people to come in. You know, shut the borders down. Make sure it's safe. Get food. Get this, you know. Like, it's just like, what are we doing here, you know? And she takes the Mona Lisa and she puts it there. And then Madame Jeanette falls. Then the other woman takes the Mona Lisa and then she falls. So the Mona Lisa, I guess, is a kiss of death too. And so they're outside the nest, and Carol's in a precarious situation, and they just shoot all the people randomly. And Carol hides underneath. She gets one of those darts that has the chemical in it, and it doesn't inject her. She gets up, she runs to the car, Jeep, mule thing, whatever, the ATV type thing that Cadrone is tied to, like a religious figure, basically. And then she gets in the thing and drives off, and all the walkers are like sprinting towards her. Like the walkers should be fast, but I mean, they're not going to catch up to a freaking like ATV thing that can go 100 miles per hour, right? Like, come on. But either way, they get into the nest after Jeanette's people blow up the thing, and Carol gets in there, and Cadrone is put down and saved, and he starts killing walkers, and Carol gets in there, and, before that, Lo Sang stabs Isabel in the stomach. And so Isabel's like bleeding. And so she's walking around bleeding, and she doesn't instantly turn into a walker like anybody else would. But she collapses down, and Carol ends up finding her, and she tells them about Daryl, and Carol saves Daryl, and Carol and Daryl are reunited, and it's nice, and they go to Isabel, and Isabel doesn't make it, and the walkers are killed, and this is killed, and Lo Sang fights Jeanette, and Lo Sang kills Jeanette. But it's like kind of done in a way that's cheesy. Like, you don't really see any gruesome deaths or anything crazy on there. And the same thing when Daryl kills Lo Sang, he bashes his head in with a skull from the catacomb things. And you don't really see it. Like, it's not done in a way. Like, it's just, come on. But everybody basically dies. Except, hey, Zenith. Except for Carol, Daryl, Laurent, Ash, Cadrone, Falou, Sylvie dies. The guy that's with Sylvie dies. And it's just like a lot of stuff to get to the point for them to get there too. And so when Daryl tells Isabel that he wants to bring Isabel and Laurent back to Ohio, back to America where it's safe. Isabel dies, clearly, so he can't bring her back. And Laurent doesn't want to leave. But then Daryl finally talks about it. And he agrees to leave. Zenith, Q&A, as an authentic Floridian, can you tell me if the rumors are true that the government isn't letting people help with rescues? I don't know, Zenith. I don't know anything about that. I don't know what the word is about that. But I would assume they are. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to stay in their way. And I don't know where we're talking about where are people trying to be rescued, like Siesta Key or Sarasota area. I mean, that's a little farther away from where I live, so I don't know. I live in Pinellas County, so I don't know where that is. But I haven't seen any of that stuff, so it could be happening. I just don't know. I mean, I hope not, because I want everyone to be safe and everyone can get back to normal again as much as they can. So let me see where I was. So it's basically Carol and Daryl leave the nest, and Falou took Laurent back to like their hiding spot in the first season. And Cadrone actually steps up and is like a likable character this season, right? And so when Lo Sang comes to there, they hide, and Cadrone leaves with Laurent and gets him out, and they save Laurent. And Carol and Daryl like make it to places, and they go back to that underground nightclub thing, or that lady is running things. She ends up dying too. And because Carol and Daryl are trying to get gas, they're just trying to like stay alive and do all this stuff. They eventually make it back to Ash with the plane. So you have Ash, Laurent, Falou, Cadrone, Daryl, and Carol. And the lady that was with Lo Sang is still trying to go after Daryl and Carol and get Laurent. Because still, again, they want to have Laurent be the chosen one who is immune, who is going to be the hope for everybody to rally behind on there too, which to me is like so stupid. Like, okay, so at best case, he is. At worst case, he gets bit and you're all doing, and then you also kill a kid. Like, it just seems so stupid. But that's the writing. Zenith Q&A, could it be that Carol said to Daryl on the radio on season 1, Daryl, I think it's time you came back. I mean, could have, but it made the way they sound, because Carol says it on the radio, and then Daryl even asks her who came back, and he's like, oh, it's just like a feeling around. It's just so stupid. It was just like, it just would have been great if it was Rick. Like, oh yeah, Rick and Michonne are back. Okay, cool. That's all. But they didn't do that for us. So the whole thing towards the end of the season is Daryl, Carol, Laurent, and Ash. They all can't get on the plane because it's too heavy. So only Ash, Laurent, and one other person can come there. So Daryl's like, I'm going to stay. And Carol's like, I'm going to stay. And so Daryl's like, it should be you, Carol, to go back. So then they get the plane going. Lo Sang's lady persons they're going after. They kill the redheaded lady that was having the nightclub thing. She dies. And there's an airfield by the racetrack. And it's a big dramatic thing with Cadron shooting the lady's group people around there. You know, that group that's going after Laurent and Falou and Daryl and this. And there's people on motorcycles and ATV. And, like, there's all these stuff going on. And Carol's in the seat. So it's Ash, Carol, and Laurent in the plane. And they're going away. They're flying away. And they're going on the thing. And then Carol, you know that Carol's like not going to be on there. Like, it just feels like she can't be there. But Daryl sees a motorcycle and he takes his rifle and he shoots the motorcycle. But then an ATV comes out of there too, and Daryl takes his rifle and click. He's got no bullets, so then he's got to change out the bullet. When the ATV is about to run into the plane, there's a shot that takes out the driver of the ATV and knocks out of the way. The plane takes off, and Ash and Laurent are in there by themselves, and Carol's the one that took the shot. And it's just kind of funny because it's like Daryl, he's like, I had it. And Carol's like, I know, but I had it. And Carol takes out the thing, and Ash and Laurent fly away. We don't know if they make it. We don't know if they go to Greenland. They make it back to the United States. Like, we don't know a lot of things. And but Carol and Daryl are left in France with Falou and Cadron. So we don't see Ash and Laurent. We don't see what happens to them. They go away. Maybe we'll see them in season 3, or maybe we won't. But so the episode's still going. There's still like 20 minutes left of the episode, the final episode. And you're like, all right, how is this going to wrap up? That should have been the final part. Ash and Laurent fly away, and that's the end of the season. But there's still more left story. So Carol and Daryl are like, what are we going to do? We have to get back, right? So there's these two Scottish people, a man and a woman, and they're going to help Daryl, Carol, and Cadron get to London. So it looks like the rumors are true that they're filming in Spain for season 3, but they're calling it London, because of the double-decker buses and all this stuff that we see in filming. But so Falou and this woman, they're like talking, and they stay back, and they have food and stuff to bribe the checkpoints. So you have the two Scottish people, the man and the woman, leading Carol, Daryl, and Cadron into this like tunnel. And so they go into the tunnel, and they come across this checkpoint. And something's not right because no one's alive. They're all dead or they're walkers. And then it's starting to be like hallucinations. There's some chemical kind of thing, and there's this green light on the walkers and everything, and there's bats in there. So if it's the guano or the bioluminescence or the secretions or the walkers or the gases in there or something, everyone's like hallucinating. And so everyone is kind of hallucinating what they see. Cadron sees his brother. Carol sees Sophia and DARYL sees Isabel. And the two Scottish people are setting this up. They know this is going to happen. So they end up getting gas masks and they attack DARYL and they attack everything. So this was all set up to begin with. So total crap. And DARYL's in a precarious situation, and there's like a little Isabel moment that she's talking to him. And before that, Cadrone fights DARYL because DARYL kills a walker, and Cadrone thinks that's Michel, his brother. And so they're fighting, and they're doing this, and they're going at each other. And then Cadrone ends up running away after, I guess, a walker or nobody's there. I guess it was nobody there, right? And he just runs away, and we don't see Cadrone anymore. And so it's Carol and DARYL in a, hallucination sequence. Carol is in this safe area, and she sees Sophia. And it's not the same actress, but it's a pretty close actress. They look really good like they usually do. And she's like, am I allowed to join you now? Like, are you going to give up? Are you going to end it? Are you going to kill yourself? Are you going to join her daughter and be with her in the afterlife? And Sophia doesn't say anything. She has her teddy bear or whatever it is, the bunny thing, and then just leaves. And then I'm hoping that was the resolution of it, because not to say that it's not nice or whatever too, but it was kind of a little much. Like, it's been 15 years in the zombie apocalypse, and I guess you never get over it. But it's just, something that I'm like, it's a nice little connecting point with Carol though too. So. Outdoor Fishing Adventures. Hi, Bri. How are you today? I just ordered your last book called The End. Fight for Us. I haven't started reading it yet. I can't wait to start reading it. I also read your other books. Thank you, Outdoor Fishing Adventures. I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully, if you like the other books, I think it's a good resolution of things. But I don't want to give anything away, but it could be just the beginning for some things too. So the end is the beginning, right, guys? So we'll see. Tim says, lost me, Bri. What are you talking about? Is not, don't think I watched this morning. No. So again, that's the final episode. So I believe the episode that's coming on tonight or on AMC Plus. So correct me if I'm wrong, Tim. I believe it's episode 4. So that is the one where Carol is with Madame Jeanette and they're going to go attack the nest. But she survives, and she gets on the ATV thing and drives Cadrone into the nest, saves DARYL, Isabel dies, and that's kind of what I see there too. So, yeah, thank you, Outdoor Fishing Adventures. Yeah, I don't know, like, it's kind of cool just to be with the audience that reads the book series and just to see how people like it or not like it or whatever too. It's always a cool thing. I think it's a rewarding thing because, it's a zombie apocalypse, post-apocalyptic story, but hopefully there's little things that you can pick up about life and morals and ethics and, on there too. So, fan of Deluxe Q&A. In the last decade, we have seen many horror franchises like The Conjuring, which also consists of Annabelle trilogy, Halloween, Goosebumps, if you consider it. Wrong Turn and Chicky Doll. Choose your favorite. I don't know, like, I'm not the biggest horror fan. I just feel like it's horrible decisions. I feel like it's not the right thing on there too. Like, it's just, the Goosebumps stuff's okay. Halloween has its nice moments. Freddy Krueger stuff, Friday the 13th, Scream. I think Scream's one of the best ones. I really like that franchise. But yeah, there's a lot of things for sure. But Tim, yeah, let me know in the comments if I'm correct about the episode that aired today. It was episode 4 with them attacking the nest and Isabel dying. But what I was talking about before is the final episode of it. So, like I said, Cadrone leaves the area, hallucinates seeing his brother, and runs down the tunnel. Carol comes back after letting her two. Yeah, so he says, yeah, I don't know without checking the episode. Madam G got shot with a dart from Carol. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's episode 4. But yeah, like I'm saying, the last 2 episodes kind of are Carol and DARYL together, because Carol and DARYL don't get reunited until episode 4, which is kind of crazy that it takes so long and it's only 6 episodes. But so at the end, DARYL is about to get killed by the 2 Scottish people. He gets up and kills both of them with a shovel and survives. They take the gas masks because remember the hallucinations is the air and the gas in there too. And then they're going to go to London. So they go down the tunnel. Carol and DARYL are together. Cadrona's still alive. The 2 Scottish people are dead. And that's how the season ends, with them going to London. So there's no French CDC connection. There's nothing to do with any of the stuff from the post-credit sequence of World Beyond. There's just so many nonsense things that don't connect. Like, it's just like Carol finding DARYL, staying alive, Carol being in a tough situation, but staying alive and doing this. You know, Carol is just a survivor. It's just like DARYL is. And Carol and DARYL, I'm not worried about their safety at all, even though DARYL gets beat up and wounded and everything else. But he's fine. And Laurent and Ash get away, and we'll have to see what happens there. But if Carol and DARYL get to London, I feel like CRM's got to show up in season 3, right? Like, I mean, enough of this stuff around there, like, because the CRM thing was a big connecting point of all this stuff too. So, thank you, Outdoor Fishing Adventures. Yeah, I mean, he says, I think Fight for Us is better than The Walking Dead. I mean, I think both have its good moments on there too, and I think it's what I've learned from other shows, especially like Fear the Walking Dead, stuff like that, is like I wouldn't want to write any of that stuff in there. I would want to have stuff that pays off for the fans and everything, and hopefully it's a rewarding thing for the build-up. Because it's really annoying, like we talked about in the stream already, about Carol talking on the radio about, oh, so-and-so came back. And Carol and DARYL's like, who came back? Who came back? And they're like, nothing. Like, why even say that? Why even have any message over the radio if it's going to be nothing? Like, it's just annoying. They're playing with us. They're toying with us. They're doing all that crap. And it's just annoying. Like, at this point, they got to wrap it up, right? 3rd and final season. We don't need extra filler, a bunch more episodes and a bunch more seasons of this DARYL Dixon stuff. And the same thing with Dead City. Like, wrap it up. Either Negan dies or Maggie dies or whatever on there too, which I would assume that if Negan had to die, it would be to protect Maggie and to come full circle and to protect Herschel and whatever, even though Herschel's a punk and he doesn't deserve to be saved for a lot of things. He's a moody teenager and annoying. But I don't know, like, what are we getting with here? What is the final thing of this, right? What is the point of these extra shows? Like, DARYL is a nice little thing. It's rushed. It's only 6 episodes. It should probably be 8. But I just feel like it's one of those things. Yeah, I'm telling you, episode 4 is I believe that's what it is when Carol finally meets up with DARYL. And it's a nice moment, like it always is. It's always a nice thing when Carol saves DARYL for the 5th time, 6th time, whatever. You know, it's kind of what it is, too. So, yeah. So, I don't want to give anything away, Outdoor Fishing Adventures, but there's a high probability that the sequel will be written on there, too. So, yeah, I mean, so Dragon Ball Radiant says disagrees with me. The Dead City Season 2 looks amazing. So I hope it's amazing. But when trailers look good, sometimes the series... So, like, what's going to be the great thing that Negan being Negan, right? Because I don't think Negan and Maggie can really carry stuff. And Kim Coates' addition is great. And, you know, the people that are the Dama and stuff, they're there. They're going to have decent writing, and I think Negan can carry the show. I just feel like Maggie is kind of annoying. Like, I don't need her there at all. Right? And I like Lauren Cohan. I like Maggie. But it just doesn't fit with Negan. Like, I feel like it should have just been the Negan series. But Maggie's like, hey, I want to be an executive producer. I want to star in it. I want to make millions of dollars. Hey, come on. Yeah, it sounds great. You know, like, I don't know. But, you know, we'll see. I mean, okay, so Negan's in New York City. And he's going to take over the city. And you have, you know, all that going there. Basically, the Saviors, I guess, 3.0, 4.0 at this stage. I don't even know how many times the Saviors have been kind of reborn with it. And Negan, I mean, Jeffrey Dean Morgan does a great job. But I just don't know what's left in the tank for it. Right? Like, okay, Negan has Lucille again. If you're really into that, great. But I don't feel like it's that amazing. I don't feel like it's a rewarding thing. Oh, I mean, I guess it's his Excalibur. It's his lightsaber. It's his, his source of power. I don't know. Like, it's a symbol, obviously. I mean, it's a wooden baseball bat. Right, so, like, do we really need Negan back to his old ways? Like, do we really need to watch that? Because for a lot of people, Negan ruined the Walking Dead show. And for a lot of people, I don't know if Negan's going to be this great person. Like, I don't know how many people watch Dead City compared to other stuff, too. But it has its connections. Like, I love the idea of Negan, the Croat, Simon, just stuff connecting that way. And if we do more of that, there can be rewarding things. Like, I love callbacks, connections, Easter eggs, stuff that is familiar to us. Like, it just makes sense, too. Donnie T asks, do you think we'll see Rick and Michonne again? Like, I hope so, but I don't think so. I think Rick and Michonne, Denai and Andy, made that 6-episode series, and it was a limited series that people were like, it doesn't mean this. It could be multiple seasons, blah, 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 blah. And it was one season of 6 episodes. And I just don't think we're going to see them again. If we do, it's going to be for a brief moment at the very, 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 very end when Carol and Daryl finally come home. And I hope they do. I hope that's the final thing, too, so. Where are you at, Phantom Deluxe? Let me see. I thought I saw your episode. I thought I saw your thing. Phantom Deluxe says, I'm still mad over the fact that they teased a big organization as a villain in the main show in Fear and based a whole show around it in What World Beyond, only to use it as a plot device for a love story. Yeah, I mean, it was so weak. It was definitely a thing that you could have just had so many connections and offshoots and other things on there too. Like, you could have done a great thing with it. But the show is the show. CRM and all that stuff is not in the comics. And when you deviate too much from the comics, I don't think they know what they're doing. Like, I didn't think Gimple knew what he was doing with that writing in there as well. Like, World Beyond had some good potential. Like, I like to see that community and a thing, but we're following kind of annoying teenagers, which wasn't really great. Fear the Walking Dead had its moments, but in all those seasons, it really wasn't great. I totally agree. I think it was annoying, the plot device for a minor thing, where you build up the helicopter, you build up the 3 rings, you build up the CRM, you build up Jadis, you build it up. And again, we all know what the build-up is. A build-up to fall flat. So, I mean, ultimately, if Carol and Daryl don't make it back to Ohio with Laurent and we don't see some familiar faces, like Rick, like Michonne, like Judith, like Jerry, like whoever, like, I mean, like, it just needs to happen that way, right? And it's all this nonsense of go to France to do this, to protect this, and burners and walkers, and Jeanette's killed, and Losank's killed, and this is killed. Who's going to be the next villain? There's going to be some British guy? Because every good guy needs a villain. Every protagonist needs an antagonist. Right now, in the grand scheme of things, you should kind of be rebuilding the world by now in 15 plus years in the zombie apocalypse, I would assume, right? Like, again, I don't understand how walkers are not deteriorating 15 years into the zombie apocalypse. They would be broken down necrotic tissue. They would be half of them all over the world. And the people weren't being replaced quick enough. If you had 8 billion people and you lost 7 billion right away, so many months and so many you would lose people more than you would have a birth. Like, you may have 10 babies born, but then you lose 100,000. That's just a different thing. I don't know. The walkers, I guess, will just never go away too. So Yeah. I hope so. That would be amazing if Fight for Us was a book series turned into a show, even on Amazon. That's where you can find my book series, and I would not be against that by any means. But I always have ideas for it, and like being in this recent hurricane, it's the closest thing is having it being around a natural disaster to feel like a post-apocalyptic world when you have no gas or you have no electricity or there's trees down and limbs down and electricity's out and, damage of surge and just it's a catastrophic event, But it's definitely something that I am excited to talk to you guys about. Fight for Us, hopefully you guys are enjoying the series, and if not, that's okay too. But yeah, guys, I won't be able to do a live stream next week. I'm busy all weekend, so I wanted to cover all the episodes left in the Daryl Dixon and Carol, Book of Carol, Daryl Dixon Season 2, and from the recent episode of it. But it's definitely okay. I like Carol and Daryl together, obviously, because they are amazing. But the show just kind of falls flat. There needs to be some major connecting points with CRM, and I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do for season 3. Thank you, Outdoor Fishing Adventure. You're being really nice to me. I appreciate that, and the kind words on there too. I don't know everything, and I've learned the hard way with the book series of what to do, what not to do, and the editing and everything too. So Wilson says, bring back Madison in the UK. Yeah, you could, right? Like, where's Lenny James at? Where's Morgan? Where's anybody left? Like, is that ever going to happen? Are we ever going to see Morgan reunited with Rick? You set that up, but, a lot of stuff like that, just build it up. Keep us waiting. But other than that, guys, hopefully you're safe and sound and doing well. It's, October 20th, 2024, as I wrap up this stream in a couple minutes. But I just want to say thank you for being a part of this channel for so many years. And, The Walking Dead isn't what it was, and that's okay. And the community isn't what it was, but it's still a great community here at this channel. I genuinely care about you guys, and I want you to be doing well. And I want you to be motivated, inspired, educated, just motivated to do stuff, like whatever it is. Start light, start little, start whatever. But you can do more than you think. It's always crazy, the little things at startups with everything, because I just feel like the Robert Kirkman story of getting the Walking Dead comic published, if he can do it, anybody can do it. And I know it's connected with Marvel's success and comic book stuff and whatever. And, it was shot down at NBC and HBO and shot down with all that stuff. But it found its home on AMC. And it really changed TV as I know it. And a lot of people know it. There's like certain shows that have changed my outlook on television, media, entertainment. It was The Sopranos. It was Breaking Bad, Walking Dead. 3 major shows and series, Game of Thrones, like a lot of things that were like game-changing events and shows that were just like awesome. And it's just a cool thing, like people something have this motivating factor, and I remember watching this or watching this performer or this sporting event or this player or whatever it was, and then you're like, yeah, Star Trek. Yeah, exactly. Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter for some people. Huge, huge franchises. And that's awesome. Whatever you're into like that too. But I think you can do it too, But the thing at the end of the day is you can do big things or little things that can turn into big things. Like everybody wants it done yesterday. Everybody wants to have the success now. Or actually yesterday. Actually 2 weeks ago. Actually years ago they want to have this success. And they want to be living on easy street. And they want to be having the money come in and not have to do anything or whatever on there too. But that, for a lot of people, majority of people, that's not how it takes. But you can, whatever it is. But all right, guys, that's my time. So I appreciate you guys taking the time with me. I'm safe and sound after the hurricanes. Hopefully you are too. But I'll be back in a couple weeks. I just won't be back next week because I'm, got some other stuff going on. But remember, guys, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals, whatever they are. Keep grinding, working hard. You can do it, whatever it is. Thank you, guys. Enjoy football, if you're watching that today, or DARYL DIXON today, or From, if you haven't seen it yet, or whatever you're enjoying for shows, movies on there as well. Hopefully you're safe and sound and you're doing well, and I'll see you guys. See ya.